Hey, Dr. Berry here. In this video, I want to talk to you about why counting calories is stupid. And I know that sounds like almost heresy, but we've been taught for so many years the wrong way to lose weight, the wrong way to think about our health, and it's time to set the record straight. So today I'm going to teach you about counting calories and why that's stupid. Now, if you'd like to, you might consider clicking the subscribe button so that next time I have a video, you'll know about it. And if you click the little bell right beside that, you'll get a notification every time I have a bright idea. Now, let's talk about calories and why counting them is stupid. Okay? Your body is the most complex biochemical uh, entity in the universe that we know of. Nothing even comes close to it. And to think that your body is as simple as the stove in your kitchen or the oven in your kitchen is ridiculous. The human body does not burn the food that we eat. It doesn't burn the beverages that we drink. That's not how it works at all. We've used that rough analogy for years to talk about, oh, you burn calories, you burn the food you eat. But in reality, that's not what happens at all. So, calories are a unit of heat measurement. And so, if you're talking about air conditioners or heaters or central heat and air units, you might talk about a calorie and it would make sense. And you can actually use the unit of measurement of calorie to do all kinds of fancy equations in physics and chemistry. But when it comes to the complex biochemical digestion that your human body does to food, you have to understand that that's not how it works at all. You do not burn the food you eat. So we talk about calories. Where did that concept even come from? A few decades back, some scientists who are trying to just talk about how we use the energy in our food came up with this unit and started to apply it to human nutrition, even though it was inappropriate. And so they would take little bits of food and they would basically put it in a tiny oven called a bomb calorimeter, and they would burn the food up and they would see how much the water around the little bomb calorimeter, the little oven, would heat up when you burnt that food. So they'd burn some bacon in there, they'd burn some avocado in there, they'd burn some bread in there. And they were able to come up with all these numbers and make these beautiful big charts and graphs. So that's fine if you want to put some bacon or put some whole wheat bread into a little oven and burn it up, then the calorie unit is very applicable to that. That it makes perfect sense to use calories to talk about how much you've heated the water up around that little stove or that little oven. But if you want to talk about how your body biochemically digests the macro molecules that you eat, the fat, the protein, the carbohydrates, the calorie has nothing to do with any of that. Okay. When I was in medical school, I was taught a little bit about nutrition, but I was taught a lot about biochemistry. And biochemistry is how we talk about how your body's chemical processes work. And so whether you're talking about gluconeogenesis or the Krebs cycle or any of these biochemical pathways, the word calorie doesn't appear in any of them. Okay. The human body has no idea what a calorie is. The human body doesn't count calories. The human body doesn't take calories into consideration. If you eat fat, that goes down a particular biochemical pathway in your body that doesn't have anything to do with calories, and it's digested a certain way. If you eat proteins, it goes down a different metabolic pathway, a different biochemical avenue, so to speak. It has nothing to do with calories. Calories don't figure into that at all. If you eat carbs or starches or simple sugars, that goes down another biochemical pathway. Okay, none of these have anything to do with calories. So there have been tons of weight loss and nutrition gurus and experts through the years who have had these big books of that you could flip through if you went to this restaurant or that restaurant and look up the calories, right? All that's meaningless. And the way we know that is one of the diets that was recently recommended as one of the best diets in the world by US News and World Reports, the Weight Watcher diet, right? So they are Weight Watchers and calorie counters, and that's what they've been since the 1960s. How many millions of people have failed to lose the weight they wanted to use using Weight Watchers? Pretty much all of them, 99.9% who have ever tried it, maybe lost a few pounds up front, but then they stopped and it just the weight came back because that's not a sustainable diet because using the wrong paradigm to think about weight loss. Obesity and being overweight is not a calorie problem. It's a hormone problem. It's not a, oh, you should eat less and exercise more problem. It's a insulin problem and a cortisol problem and a thyroid problem and a gender hormone problem. It has nothing to do with the amount of calories you eat. More and more people, even elite level athletes these days, are using the ketogenic diet, and they are have such low body fat percentages. You can see the veins in their abdominal muscles, and for people who know, I mean, you have to have a very low body fat percentage in order to see the veins in your belly. So yeah, it has nothing to do with calorie restriction. So if you see a guru on Instagram who's saying, "Oh, well, the ketogenic diet really only works because of it's a calorie restriction diet," unfollow them because they don't know what they're talking about. Okay. If you watch some YouTube video or you see some Facebook personality who says, "Oh, it's easy. You just eat fewer calories than you burn," you just unfollow them because they have no idea what they're talking about. Okay. Obesity and being overweight, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, they're all hormone problems, not calorie overdose problems. That's not what it is. And so, how do I know this? How do we know that? I mean, why have people been saying this for 60 years if it's not true? Well, let me tell you about a study. It's called the Women's Health Initiative Study. And this study was huge. It was done over multiple years. It had over tens of thousands of women in it. And these women ate a calorie restricted diet for years. Okay. And then there was another set of women in this study who didn't need calorie restriction. At the end of this study, which was over 10 years long, you would think, well, and so the average woman who was calorie restriction ate about 300 fewer calories a day. And if any of you guys know about, oh, well, a calorie is, or a pound is 3,500 calories. You've all heard that, right? And so if you back up on your calorie intake by 500 calories a day, you should lose a pound a week. I mean, I used to tell patients this in the clinic back when I was a fat, stupid doctor and didn't know any better. Now I know better. I don't tell people that myth anymore. So if you just back up on your calorie intake 500 a day or just burn 500 extra calories a day, you should lose a pound a week, right? Yeah. So everybody knows that that doesn't work. It's never worked and it never will work because you're basing your weight loss on the wrong idea that it's a calorie issue, and it's not, okay? So in the Women's Health Initiative, there were a huge group of these women who calorie restricted about 300 calories a day for years. And so they probably lost what, 10, 30, 40, 50, 100 pounds? Well, actually, at the end of the study, they hadn't lost a single bit more than the women who didn't calorie restrict. Calories have nothing to do with weight loss. Counting calories is stupid. I can't be any more blunt than that. I'm trying to be blunt so I can be inflammatory. So people will go, wait, what? And then when you look at this study, you'll go, God, that's already been proven in science, hasn't it? Why are all these doctors still talking about calorie counts and cutting back on your calories and burning more than you eat? Why are doctors still talking about that? I'm not real sure, but they need to stop because it's inaccurate, it's misleading. And then when you try the calorie deficit theory of weight loss and you fail, then the doctor looks at you like you're less than or like you're guilty of some crime. It's not your fault. It's the doctor's fault. It's the expert's fault. It's the guru's fault for giving you the false information that made you think you could succeed that way when you can't. This is Dr. Berry. Now, I'm going to keep making videos like this, and I upset some people, and that's okay if you're upset with me. If you don't like this, then don't listen to me. But watch the people who are doing a ketogenic diet. Watch the people who are doing intermittent fasting because they're not only going to lose the weight and reach their goal, but they're going to stay there. And that's the key, okay? How many people have lost 5 pounds with Weight Watchers only to gain it right back and two more, right? Weight Watchers is not one of the best diets in the country. It's one of the worst diets. It's been around for over 30 years, and we've got the biggest obesity epidemic in the world right now. Thanks, Weight Watchers, I guess. So watch as the ketogenic diet keeps getting more and more popular and more people start doing it. Watch the obesity curve do that. Watch it. Watch in 5 years and see what happens because this is the correct way to think about weight loss. This is the correct way to think about getting your insulin resistance and your type 2 diabetes under control. Fix the hormone issue, which is predominantly an insulin issue, by eating way fewer carbs. It's not about calories, it's about carbs. So if you want to be afraid of a C word, don't be afraid of calories, be afraid of carbs. This is Dr. Barry, and if you enjoyed this, please share this on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. The more people I can help, the quicker we can make that obesity epidemic curve start to do that. And that'll make me very, very happy. Now, if you'd like to personally support me in this mission, you can go to my Patreon page. There's a link down below, and you can help me with a buck or two. If you'd like to do it that way, that's fine too. This is Dr. Barry. I'll see you next time.